Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, sis. This is my goddess, y'all. This is the goddess on the podcast today. We welcome everybody to Riding the Phoenix, and our Divine Women of Wisdom uh, series is continuing on as we share this. I am Empress Nairobi. I'm your host, and I am the founder of Divine Women of Wisdom, which is a ministry, mission, and movement that we have birthed into reality. And I have a very special guest on today, a beautiful soul sister. Her name is Delaney. And I know that she's the founder of Primal Femme, and we're going to go into that a little bit here. But I wanted to just start it off with a little bit of a drum to bring in our ancestors and a little bit of prayer, as we always do. I give thanks to the Most High, the Infinite Creator, the Law of One, in unconditional love, the great Ahaya, the great Ahaya, Asher Ahaya, I am that which I am. We give thanks for your presence. We give thanks for your protection, your wisdom, your guidance, your balance, your peace, your harmony in our world. I give thanks for the ancestors, the spirit guides, the archangels, the dragon warriors, the spirit elements and the spirit animals who are here for our highest good, who are here in the highest white light, with in servitude to the Most High, the infinite creator, the great I am. I am also petitioning that our divine sacred team will bind up all negative energies and negative entities that do not serve us for our highest good or for the highest good of the collective. They are banished from our presence and from this room. And I ask that we create a container for them to go into, and you transport them where they need to go. But they're no longer allowed here. We give thanks, and please fill us and protect us with your energy, divine sacred team. We give thanks. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And we call you in, ancestors, and we give thanks. Thank you. Woo-hoo. All right. So, my dear beloveds, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you for taking time out today to grace us with your beautiful energy. You are so amazing. And I want everybody to know just how amazing you truly are, because I know you from a little while here. We met a while back on social media, but it was like we've known each other forever. She looked at me, I looked at her, and we look into each other's souls, and we've known each other from past lives. So this goddess here is actually my soul sister from many, many lives before. I often tell her that she is a melanated sister in a non-melanated body. So don't let that non-melanated body fool none of y'all, because this girl got soul. You hear me? More so than you know. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, sister.
What's up, Nairobi? It's such an honor and pleasure to be here, my love. Just one second. I have a kitten, and she's just going
Yeah.
absolutely crazy. So I got to put her out of the room because she gets
Okay.
really feisty. And of course, she's like, it's like having a toddler. She likes to act
Oh,
up like right when I need to speak or do something important. So just give me
that's
1 second.
girl.
I'm so sorry. Just
Yeah, no,
one
take your
second.
time.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, babe. Go right on ahead. I'll just keep talking. Anyway, so everybody, Delaney, she is amazing. I can't wait for you guys to hear what she has going on. Here
Okay,
she
I'm
is,
back.
babe.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry, it's like my kitten is super feisty and it's
No.
hilarious. But yeah, what's up, my loves? My name is Delaney
Uh,
DWright, and I am the founder of Primal Femme and Light Vitality Fitness. And the mission at Primal Femme is really to embolden and resource women of impact to nourish their body, their mind, their soul, and their world internally and externally. Um, there's so many different directions I could go in talking about myself. The main thing that you need to know is that my primary mission on this planet is to support in the restoration of the Holy Mother, the primal feminine, and the feminine essence that has been forgotten out of his story. Her story was kind of wiped out, and I ask people all the time, what do we want to create as our story moving forward? Not just his story. We look at the word his story, history, and it literally says his story. And so her story was intentionally wiped out. And I talk about this all the time, and the importance of the restoration of the feminine, because the masculine narrative, or the abusive masculine narrative, has been running our entire planet. It's infiltrated every single thing that we see in the world, from religion to churches to society systems to government to politics to the medical industry. And I'm really here to help in the restoration of the Holy Mother, the restoration of our bodies as our temples to the divine, the restoration of our earth as the living body and home that we live on. So I'm a priestess, I'm an alchemist, and I'm also an artist. And yeah, I could go on. I could pop off about a lot of things, but those are the primary things for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
My mission is to plant trees. My mission is to bring women together. My mission is to create community spaces for diversity, for women of different races, ethnicities, cultures, walks of life to come to a table together and break bread with each other. So, yeah.
Oh, man, amazing. Told you, girls on fire. Well, I got a lot of questions for you. So I'm just going to start with one of them. Well,
Okay.
first of all, you did say that you have a table to bring women together, which is what we're also trying to do here with Divine Women of Wisdom. And that is bringing forth the women and their medicine and pulling them together. And I know that you have a great network of beautiful women and beautiful sisters and beautiful high priestesses. So we'll have you talk a little bit about that. But before you go into that, can you please talk a little bit about your wisdom concerning feminism?
Okay. So, okay. So, for a long time, I just kind of recently started talking about this online and social media. Is For a long time, I actually didn't take on the term feminist, because what I was taught, and even the programming in this, was that feminism equals man hating.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that, I think the definition of feminism, when you look it up, is about equal rights. And I think that's one layer to it. But there's a quote that I found out there that's like, was written by a man, that says, it's actually foolish to believe that a man and woman are equal. Of course, we are worthy of equal rights. Women are. But this isn't just about women's rights. This is about seeing the true worth of a woman, and how a woman is truly the portal to creating life on earth. And of course, we need men and women coming together. It takes a mother and a father. If we look at the biology of nature, if we look at nature's design, aka God's design, aka goddesses design, spirit's design, the divine design of how we create life on earth is man and woman, or masculine, feminine, or mother, father coming together. But the womb, the woman's body is what creates life. It is the portal. It is the only thing that can create organic life on earth. And so feminism to me is really about putting the earth, our body, and our wombs at the focal point of our life. Anything less than that, for me personally, feels futile. And when I talk about feminism, I'm not saying I hate men. I actually love men. I think my life is better with healthy men. What I don't love is men who parade around as in these male bodies that are bigger physically than a lot of women, and that, are parading around with these very wounded inner children, that is disconnected from that feminine energy, that is disconnected from the mother, that is disconnected from the womb and the earth, and maybe even their own mother or the women in their life, that are walking around acting like they're whole, acting like they're here to protect, acting like they're here to be a provider, a protector of the sacredness of the feminine, of the sacredness of creation and life. Yet they're super wounded, and they're walking around blaming women for being the problem on the planet, and wanting women to submit to them in their leadership and dominance, when they don't even have the ability to submit to their own feminine, their own heart, their own relationship with the Holy Mother, or any kind of feminine presence. And So that's the kind of issue that I have with a lot of the archetypal things that we see with men in the current modern day world. But we need men. We need healthy men. We need healthy masculine. We need healthy protectors and providers. And so when I talk about feminism, in no way am I talking about hating men. I actually love men. I feel like my life is better with healthy men. And so that's what I mean when I talk about feminism.
I appreciate that, sister. That's beautiful. And so you spoke a little bit about the womb. Can you go into that a little deeper as well as what your wisdom concerning the womb? Do you have any more you want to
So
add to that?
yeah. I mean, I really could go off on this for a long time. So I think I kind of touched on it in the most simple and potent way that I could just now. Um, but
Yeah.
the womb is the fertile soil. I look at the earth like it's a womb. I look at it's very misunderstood also because the womb is dark. The womb is pure darkness. And I feel like there's a lot of confusion out in the world between shadow and darkness. Darkness is one with the light, it's actually not separate. And the demonization of darkness is actually the demonization of the feminine. And this is a really sneaky programming that I see in a lot of us. I've worked through this for years, but when I look at the womb, I think of it like if we look at the earth, and the earth is this living body, this living womb of creation. If you are to plant a seed into the soil of the earth, it will create life. If you look at the sun, and we look at this in indigenous teachings as this masculine presence, when we take earth and sun together, it creates new life. It creates from that sacred mystery spark of creation of source, of spirit. And I look at the earth. If I want to understand the womb, if I want to understand the womb, we need to understand our relationship with the earth because the womb is this soil that whatever we plant into it, whatever we give the womb, it is going to multiply back. If you give it poison, it's going to harm, it's going to multiply poison. If we give it sacred reverence, it's going to multiply that. And I feel like our disconnection from the womb is a reflection of our disconnection from the earth, and vice versa. Our disconnection from the earth is because we're not connected to the womb as the sacred portal, as this divine channel and conduit between God, source, spirit, the universe, the multiverse, whatever term you use, and this physical reality. It's what brings energy from the quantum field, from that intelligent field of our creator into the physical. And until we can come back to putting it at the focal point of all of our realities, we're going to be living in a distorted expression of creation.
Beautiful. So how do you restore that? What is your medicine as far as as your approach to restoring this distorted situation with the male, the female, and the whole view of everything?
I feel like the first place that we need to learn, I mean, I don't want this to so much be like this is how you do it, but for me, my personal path has been through coming back to nature first and foremost and learning how to resensitize my connection with nature. Because if we go in nature and we sit in silence, you will hear so much. You will connect to your ancestors that live in the trees, the spirits that live in the earth. You'll connect to this invisible intelligence that is so far beyond the mental logic and comprehension of how we perceive reality. Sorry, my kitten is just meowing. If you can, I don't know if you can you hear her?
Oh, yeah, you're good though. It's okay. Do you want to get
I'm
her?
just it's
Is she?
like it's like having a little kid. It's like having a toddler. Do you know what I'm saying? And
It's all good. Yes, I know. It's
yeah.
beautiful
So
though. No, it's all good.
speaking of motherly duties, just it literally will take me 30 seconds. We can just put a pause right here for just a moment because I have to get her. Otherwise,
Yeah.
she's never going to stop
Yeah.
meowing. Yeah. So it's for me, the way I've healed this relationship with the mother, the feminine, my own body started in nature and listening to the invisible intelligence of nature and looking at how nature is always changing and how every nature has everything. It has all of the resources to grow a tree are in soil, right? They should be until humans have come and interfered with the organic intelligence of nature. And second is like learning how to follow your bleed wisdom for the women who are still bleeding, for the women who are connected to their wombs, and for women who are not bleeding, learning how to simply tap into that sacral space, learning how to tap into your root and feeling the emotions, the energy that is present there. Because even if you do not have a womb, if you are female, if you have a vagina, I'm gonna say it like this: you have that sacred connection, even if it's not physical. And learning how to tap into the womb space is really learning how to be present with your root and your sacral, like being present with the lower energy centers of the body and learning how to communicate with them and just know, okay, I'm storing energy here. What do I need? And how do we treat our body, our sexuality, our, our vagina, our sexual organs with immense reverence, being conscious of who we're engaging with sexually and what kind of energy we're taking in spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and learning that like what's empowering for one woman is not always empowering for another, and learning that women really women, I believe women deserve and as a basic right deserve sovereignty and choice over what they do with their own body and what they allow into their own body and what they allow into their own field. And I think that this conversation can really easily tip into like a overly pure, like over purity, where it's like some women's empowerment is going to be a hoe, and that needs to be honored too, because there's like this thing I see in the spiritual world that's like, and like that's not what I'm saying. Like I have one single sexual partner and I'm very selective, but when I say that, it's just being conscious of the way that you interact with other people in that womb space. And for one woman that might mean being monogamous and being really conscious. For one woman, that might be sharing energy with a lot of people. And I see this thing it's wrapped up from the church that gets tied into like modern day spirituality. That's like the only way to revere the womb is to have one single partner. And like the truth is, you just need to know what works for your womb. You need to know what works for your body, what clouds your energy, what connects you to source, what disconnects you to source. And if you want to have a life that's led from your womb, learning how to revere it and respect it in the way that works for you, because it's going to be different for every single woman. So like I could go off into different little pockets of this, but really learning how to develop that own relationship with your womb, with nature, I feel like is where we need to start, and respecting other women who want to do it differently. That's a huge thing that I see too.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of fire.
And this is something that you
go off.
Oh yes, baby. I love it. Wow. So now this is something you offer in your PrimalFemme program or coaching program, or what is it that you offer?
Right now, my focus is really just on building community and bringing women together. And my primary thing that I support people with is fitness, because it brings people back to their body. And if we're unable to tend to the temple of our body, how are we supposed to tend to the temple of our planet? And the other thing that I support people with is somatic therapy, which is another modality, and it's really focusing on it's to explain it is really complex, so I'm not going to go into it in this, but it's a really advanced type of therapy that I've been trained in that helps you to heal your nervous system at your own natural pace, because our nervous system is how we operate with everything: our entrepreneurship, our relationships, our money, our income, our home, our stability. Every aspect of our life is actually dictated by our nervous system. And so the somatics that I support people with can go into the womb for women who are storing a lot of energy, for women who are disconnected from that. But it also can be a place where you can explore a lot of different um, pockets of pleasure. So somatics is such a vast thing that I wouldn't be able to explain it all in this short little window that we have today. But those are two ways that I
Mhm.
support people one on one. And my primary focus right now is creating community spaces for women so that we can come together and have the real conversations with women who are carrying different views, women who have different stories, different experiences, different um, titles, like different views on life that share kind of these core values of the importance of our body and our earth.
Mm. Beautiful, sister. I love it. And your body is snatched, just so everybody knows. Can't see it in this video. Now, sister, please. So I think we share this in common where we are artists, we are very modest in it. So I want to take this moment, amazing song that you have out there on Spotify. And if you guys do not know, she has this song called Eternity, right? Eternity. Will you talk to us about that? Tell us about that song.
Um,
What made you bring that into?
so eternity, yeah, so eternity kind of just happened. Like I think I was driving and I just sat down and this whole song just came through me. I was listening to an instrumental and I felt super inspired. And at the time, I was recording an entire album. I was a stripper at the time, and I was on some hustle street shit. To be totally honest, like I was on a whole different plane of reality than I am now, and I was creating this album called Elevate, and it was my first album that I'd ever released, and this song just came through. Like it took me probably about, I would say, an hour or two, or maybe not even that. And the entire song, literally word for word, it felt
Mm.
like it was. It felt like it was gifted to me by my soul, my higher self, some type of higher intelligence. You could say that, but it's like hard to say that I wrote it, even though I know I did. Do you know what I'm saying? And so there's always kind of this
Yeah,
level of like,
because you channeled it. Like, yeah, I mean, it's different when as you're making music. You're channeling. At least that's how I look at it. It's like I'm on a totally different plane. Time goes
yeah,
away. I'm channeling. Yeah.
yeah, totally, totally. So it was like I was making this album. I don't have this album up on Spotify anymore for a few reasons, which would have to be like a whole other podcast interview to go into. Like I've just seen
Oh.
the I've seen the darkness and the, or not darkness. I've seen the shadows of the entertainment industry in Hollywood, and I took my album
Okay.
down because at one point I had gotten some offers pretty much to sell my soul. And I was
Mm.
not about that life. I was like, I'm not trying to enter into some crazy spiritual agreement where I have to sell my soul for this type of fame and fortune that I was being offered through the Hollywood um, like
Mm.
proposals that I was receiving as an artist at the time. And so I created this whole album. Eternity was on there. And I took the album
Mhm.
off for years and years until recently I was like, okay, it's time to drop the truth. It's time to drop the mic out here again on people because I have some things that are about to come out on Spotify. And yeah, the whole purpose of that song is about like get free. You know, we see Lauryn
Yeah.
Hill talk about this a lot. We've seen a few artists, very revolutionary, iconic artists, come out in the world that have this profound fire and
Mhm.
message. And because artists like that have been like pimped out, a lot of artists like this, we see this profound talent. They get pimped out by Hollywood and the industry and the entertainment world, and they sell like they become essentially property of these agencies and property of these very shadowy like entities that are running a lot
Mhm.
of these people in the entertainment industry. And so I've needed to wait until the right time to start dropping my
Mhm.
music because I realized like I can't just be putting any kind of music out there. Like in the phase of my life where I
Mhm.
released my last album, like I said, I was on some street drug hustler stripper shit, and I wanted I had to come back to the drawing board, but this song came through and it was profound. It was like it was really, there's a lyric in there that says like something about like having conversations with God. And that's really what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Is I kind of share that phase in my journey through the frequency of that song, and I also showcase some of my like lyrical talent and the ways that I like to be a wordsmith and chop it up with words in a bar and different and putting words to a beat and the artistry of
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing, girl. Your words are so. There's just something about you, and I think that is your superpower. Is just the eloquence, how your words are so eloquent. You know how you speak, your form of expression is just powerful. Okay, so your words, your vibration, the energy behind it, the intention is felt. It's really powerful, and so everybody, if y'all here, y'all need to go check out that song, okay, today. It's called Eternity. It's still on Spotify, right? Or did you take that down?
no, I'm keeping it up. Like I said, I came back to the drawing
Okay.
board and I just want things out that really share because I think about this like I just want to say thank you for, you know, putting me out there, Nairobi. I appreciate it so much. But like what I want to say just before I finish my kind of last thoughts on it too is like I think about if a child was to hear this, how would that
Mhm.
influence their mind? Is this child getting
Yeah.
influenced to like violence and going to be on this
Mhm.
very destructive frequency, or is this child being inspired to go create as an artist, to go get free, to go out into nature, to go explore their creative
Mhm.
passions and their inspiration and who they are as a sovereign being, as a sovereign co-creator with a higher intelligence of life? So that's why I kept that
Mm.
song up, and that's why the things that I'm about to be releasing, if any of you, whoever finds this out there in the world, if you find me on Spotify, if you find me in my journeys and stuff like that, it's so important to be conscious of what is our vocation? What is the message that we send to the future generations? Like I could spit some
Mm.
bars right now, you know what I'm saying? What is your vocation and what is the legacy that you want to leave to the future generations? Because I'll tell you right now, a lot of the things that we were left in this current modern world is very disconnected from
Mhm.
our roots. It's disconnected
Yeah.
from the origins of humanity. The stories have been burned, the libraries have been burned, the message of the feminine, and the message of union and masculine and feminine coherence has been burned. The message of connecting with nature, the message that you are a co-creator with a higher intelligence, like this has been wiped out of the scripts. And so I feel
Mhm.
like we are at a tipping point in humanity where we can speak new life. We can speak new vibrations. We can feel and create new creations and sensations through our body in the way that we are operating and creating our reality so that we can leave a better foundation for the future generations.
That's right, girl. And that's amazing. I'm so glad that you said that. You have that Lauren Hill feel for sure. Because if I didn't know any better, I would have thought, dang, is that Lauren Hill? But I tell you what, that is so important, and I'm grateful and I'm glad that you are speaking to that because your consciousness and the level of consciousness and the care, the intent, and the thought that you put into the next generation and forming their minds and pay them. We're not. That's been my mission and my passion, is because the children, they are the ancestors reborn. You know what I'm saying? These are our ancestors reborn, and how we treat them and how we raise them up, how we formulate their minds and stuff, that's what's going to affect the next generation going after that. So it is up to us as the mothers, it is up to us as the divine feminine to make change. And that is what this mission, I feel like, is such a much bigger mission. It's bigger than us, to come together to bring forth and unite as that divine feminine energy, not in the sense of the feminist movement and hating men. No, I'm with you, like the combination of the two, unity, building a family unit structure, understanding the basis of a family unit structure, and bringing balance to that. Because like you said, there's a mother, there's a father, and the two come together and it brings forth life. And that life is that child who is a reborn ancestor that comes in, and it keeps flowing and it keeps flowing. So how are we going to bring balance to this situation? I think that we are called to usher in the new earth. We're called to usher in that golden age in unconditional love, and that is the power. And I feel with you, the power that you bring to the table and your medicine. I would love for you to talk about, or just give us some information on how the sisters out there who resonate with your vibration, who resonate with this message. We've got a lot of divine women of wisdom. We have a lot of primal femme sisters, goddesses, priestesses. A lot of them are out there who may hear this or who will hear this, because that's the vibration that we're sending out to the universe. So can you give us some information on how they can reach out? Do you have a website? How can they tap into your medicine?
Yeah, thanks, Boo. I love the way that we could get really fired up about this. I appreciate you kind of just giving me the mic and interviewing me for this. But I'm excited to bring you onto my podcast too, because I want to ask you questions. And we're gonna flip the script, and I'm gonna ask you questions because I love your frequency, your voice. You
Thank
you just
you.
know, like the fact that you talk about the kids being the ancestors reborn. Like I feel that when I look into your grandson. Like, I
Mhm.
feel that when I look into what's the man's name?
Oh, we call him, well, they call him Trip sometimes, but I call him little TJ, or he calls me Chunk and Nut. So I guess we call each other Chunk a Monk. We got a little cute names for each other.
That's so yeah,
But
like, when I
yeah,
do you
Jacob
remember
Jr.
when he was born
I
and
mean
we
Jacob.
all yeah, when he was
Yeah.
born and we all looked at him and we're like, "This is a grown-ass ancestor in a little baby's body."
Yes. And he was born with two teeth. So we know that was like symbolism of something. I was like, what in
Like,
the world?
I remember he was having a dance party with us in diapers. He was like he had
Yes.
this he had this look in his eyes, like, he had so much soul and flavor. You're like, "This boy been here before." Like, you could feel it from the
Yes.
second you looked at his beautiful eyes.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
yeah, it's so important how we are influencing the future generations because a lot of us were born into a lot of trauma,
Yeah.
and we had a lot harder deck of cards to work with, like, a lot more to overcome so that we could
Hmm.
step into our power. And I wouldn't change any of it. I'm so grateful for my parents and the things
Yeah.
that I'm healing in my ancestral lineage. But it's like, let's give these kids like permission to be kids. Like, let's give these
Hmm.
kids a healthy template so they don't have to heal their mommy and daddy shit, so they can come here and experience
Hmm.
love and healthy
Right.
relationships and art
Mhm.
creative artistry as the primary foundation of their life instead of having to grow up in survival and heal that for decades and decades, which is what a lot of us are doing, so that we can set that new frequency for the kids that are coming in now, and only those who know, I feel like those who are really tapped in know the importance of the family unit and the importance of community and the importance of the influence of the children because they really are the future. As cliche as that might sound, it's the realest shit ever.
Mhm.
So um
It is. Mhm.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
you know.
Th Yeah. No, I
Um,
appreciate you, man. That's yeah.
yeah, that's like the real, like that's a real. If we want to get down to like what's the most valuable thing we could put in this, that's the real right there.
Yeah. The seeds, the
Um,
babies.
yeah,
For sure.
exactly. So yeah, how you can work with me. I have lots of different ways. The best way is if you find me and you're just like, I know that I'm here to receive. I have a donation based networking event that happens every single month. It's called the Primal Femme Networking Event. Nairobi has been there at the last one, and I hope to see her at many more in the future because what we are doing is we are creating an online table for women to come and break bread, for women to come share their missions, their visions, their stories, for women to come and network because one of my gifts is I am a bridge, but he calls me Nectar the Connector. Because I'm starting to learn how to embrace it finally, like at this time of my life, but for a long time I didn't realize that I have a network of like probably the most beautiful, profound, powerful primal feminine women all over the planet. And if I could just
Mhm.
bring us all together in one room, I pray that I'm alive
Yeah.
for that day to be able to create spaces like that. And inshallah, God willing, goddess willing, source
Yes.
willing, I will get to create spaces like that in this
I,
lifetime. Yeah,
yeah.
but until then, we just gonna meet online and get to know each other and see who needs to know who and how we can support each other. And the real theme of this
Mhm.
is diversity, as well as women who really want to see other women win. Like, if you are sick of the old paradigm of competitiveness, gossip, judgment, putting other women down, for this old patriarchal model that's like, if we put women down, then the men are more powerful, and then the patriarch is more powerful. What they don't know is that when women come together in collaboration, in
Mhm.
non-competition, we create moves, we create movements, we create revolutions. So this is for
Yes.
women who are here to co-lead revolutions, who know that we can't all stay so segregated. It's like that segregation, that separation is what keeps us disempowered, because when we have women of different races, ethnicities, cultures, backgrounds, walks of life coming together to create unity and break bread,
Mhm.
have real conversations about the issues that are happening in relationships on the planet and entrepreneurship. And we actually get to say, yo, what do you need, sis? What do you need? What do you need? How can we lift each other up? Because it is the only way that we are going to create that paradigm shift on the planet. It is how we are going to usher in that new paradigm, new earth, golden age, whatever you want to call it, whatever term you resonate with. So that is my first like, that's the first touch point. And I made it donation based because um it's like,
Mhm.
if you can contribute, great. Money is not the goal of this. This is about something so much bigger than us. If you can't contribute, your
Mhm.
presence is a gift. Your presence is truly a gift. And if you're longing
Yeah.
for a new paradigm of sisterhood, a new paradigm of beingness, this is really a space to come explore that and connect with other like-minded women who are also on that same path. So that's really where I'm
Yes.
directing people right now, because that's good touch point, to just come
Yes.
feel and receive. And then I have a lot of other ways that I can support you, one-on-one. And I have a 1-year container that I'm about to open, that's going to be just a sisterhood circle, that's going to be lower ticket also. Like, I think I'm going to do sliding scale for it, and it's going to be 1 year, 3 meetings a month, where it's like, yo, we're coming together, and it's like, what do you need in your business or entrepreneurship? What do you need to create that thing that you're not creating, that you're keeping stuck in your going through resistance? What do you need to be a better mother right now? What do you need to develop a better relationship with your prayer practice, with your nervous system, with men, with women, if you date women, like whatever it is, we're going to create this really beautiful sisterhood that's going to be kind of like onboarding consistently. And it's going to be that Primal
Mhm.
Femme international network of women. So that's my main focus right now, is just creating community spaces for primal women.
Yes. Amazing. Yes. Yes. So that's kind of what we were doing. We've been actually, it's kind of similar, but since you're more the connector and me, I'm more of, let me point them to the connector or the medicine women that's already out there. That's been my goal. So, and just creating safe space for the women and for children. There's a lot that can go into that, but we'll talk about that in the future with your podcast and more so even on this podcast later on. But yeah, I wanted to bring all the focus on you and just share your medicine, because that's part of the goal here, is to introduce uh, uh her medicine, a Primal Femme for Delaney DWright. So thank you, my beautiful goddess sister, for coming on. We are so honored and so grateful for your energy and your fire and your love, and there's so much more. So we would love to have you to come back, of course, if you wouldn't mind. We would have like more discussions to talk about, and we can add to this. But I don't think you really gave us a website. So is there a website available, or is
Yeah.
there
So
a
sorry.
phone number?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Primal Femme. That's just my Instagram. It's Primal,
Mhm.
Primal, Femme, Femme. And then if you want to join the networking event, check out testimonials from other women. Just get some more information about really the frequency of what this is. If you're curious, if you're on the fence, you might already be like, yo, sign me up. I'm there for the next one. But if you want to come check it out and sign up for the next one, you can go to primalfemme.com, spelled the same way as my Instagram, /networking event. And that'll take you straight to the place where you need to go to be able to come join that community.
Perfect. Okay, well, we will make sure that we add that into the description box below for those who check us out on YouTube. We're going to have this podcast. It'll be on Spotify. You know, it once was Anchor, so it'll be on different locations, and people can check us out on Facebook. So we'll make sure we have your information out there so that they can look into your medicine, babe, and we give thanks. So thanks again for joining, my love. I love you. We'll talk soon.
I love you, babe. Thank you.
Welcome. Peace.